And I got troubles and sorrows, but I wait till tomorrow. This is my take.
This is Dr. Bass with the About That Life podcast, the podcast about life or living intentionally forever. As you know, I'm a cardiologist who cares for the cardiovascular patient. But something that I've seen, unfortunately, is that oftentimes we don't take a look at the caregiver. The AHA made a statement talking about caring for caregivers, understand that it directly impacts not only the caregiver's health, but also the health of the patient, whether it's heart failure, recovering from a heart attack, or other things. There are a host of issues that impact individuals with heart disease and other diseases, but the caregivers are central to them having improvement in that space. Well, today I'm happy to announce a partnership that's been in the works for several years. I've had the relationship of knowing people that are in our community, but really working with a global reach, with a global ideology, and that is TAAN TV, or the African American Network. In this series, I want to partner with TAAN as we move forward and talk about caring for the caregiver. We'll highlight some of the key factors, whether that be resources that are available, issues that you may have, or strategies that you could employ to ensure that you're providing not only care for your family member, but care for yourself. Well, I'm not going to take this task alone. Today, I'm going to have two of my newest friends, colleagues, champions in this space work together to understand how we impact this. So without further ado, I want them to introduce themselves. Sir, how are you doing today?
Pretty good, Dr. Bell.
Let them know who you are and what your role will be in this process.
Well, I have a little short role, but my name is Vance Bradford, and I'm a contributor to TAAN TV, and I'm proud to be here for this Caregiver series.
Sir? Yes, sir. You're Dr. Batts. Yes, sir. My name is Derrick Williams, and I am the founder and owner of Group Innovation and Diversity Training Associates. And while I have not done much training in the recent past, I find myself involved in the community in so many different contexts. The topic of many medical ailments, particularly Alzheimer's and dementia, is very close to me because I have assisted in taking care of a loved one. And it's most provocative topic, one that affects all of us from top to bottom, and I'm just excited. Matter of fact, I'm tickled brown to be here.
Yes, sir.
That's to open this topic up, to empower the community, particularly the caregivers. It's a daunting task. It reverberates up and down, from the youngest to the oldest. And so I'm very passionate about this topic and hoping that I can contribute not only on a local basis, but with TAAN TV, a national basis.
Yes, sir.
Many people, struggle with the fact that in our community, the African American community, there's a certain kinship with our elders, right? I mean, from a young child, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. Not to say that other communities don't have it, but I think specifically for us, it is hard to transition a parent into a space where we're not taking direct care. Sir, can you talk a little bit about the culture around why we make some of those decisions, or why other cultures, hold on to their family members despite having challenges to care for them?
Well, absolutely. And while we all have cultural impressions, I believe that the African American community has a unique relationship with its loved ones. You look at our past, and many of the things that we have had to do have come out of the struggle and not having all of the resources available to us as some of the other communities. And of course, our relationships. There is a unique factor that blends in the healthcare of our loved ones. Accommodations, respect, unique approaches, worldviews that do in fact differ than other groups. While there are many similarities, there are also many differences. And the African American community, on the downside, we are often in line to be recipients of resources and help and assistance. And so as a result of that, we have developed a relationship and taken care of each other our survival literally depends on it often. And that's not to take anything away from any other cultural entity, but we all have some unique factors. And I wave flag and say that we've survived in America and throughout the diaspora because of that unique relationship. And without giving a historical overview of some of the things that we still struggle with today, it's still present. And there's no need in pretending that those factors do not impinge upon our ability to render care to our loved ones. So there is a uniqueness. And I think we need to recognize that with any care system, having a certain set of cultural skills, communicational skills, the things mean different things to different people. Sometimes words get in the way. And so as a result of that, we have to usher in that knowledge that we have about each other and incorporate it in the area of our care systems, whether it be at home, whether it be an institution, me taking care of mama, auntie, or whatever the case might be. And I think an awareness of those things will increase our success as we address and deal with many of these medical matters.
Yes, sir. No, and I like how you framed it in a way where it's part of our culture, right? I mean, it takes a village. We hear that statement, and we think that it's just raising a child, but it takes a village to truly, grow an individual. And even after they've grown, it takes that same village to care for the elderly, to care for the injured. And I know you've had some personal experience with that. And if you feel comfortable, talking about your experience and how that changed you and how that gave you this new perspective.
Well, Dr. Batts, I'm new in this space, okay, and taking care of my parents now. I'm in their role as a caregiver, and listening to Mr. Williams and like bringing out those cultural things. Well, here I am. I got my two parents now. You know me, and they've been behind me my whole life. You know what I mean? I'm 67, man. They still there. They still there supporting. Well, thank you.
Just 67.
Well, I'm just saying that it's been a long time, and they've been there. And so now, like I said, I'm in a new space, and for me, man, like I know I'm sitting in between two very intelligent black men. And I feel that I'm intelligent myself. But then when you get in this space, when you listen to the space here, there's so much to learn and there's so much that we don't know, And so going through this day to day, you learn something every day. And it's, my love for my parents, I'm going to be there. So like I said, I'm new in this space. I'm so thankful that you guys are stepping up, with the expertise, the intelligence of and stuff we're going through in this series, because I'm here to learn, man, and it's been really touching up and down, learning just in the few. Like I said, I'm new in this space, but going through the emotions and the just learning about what's going on and then what's lying in the future. Right. Because it's not, we're at a point where it's not getting better.
Yeah.
But you're trying to, just make sure they okay, right? Until it's time, until it calls you home. And so.
And that, I guess, dualistic role of moving from son to caregiver to expert to power of attorney to it's a challenge, right? And balancing those roles isn't something that I don't think there's a course for, because I would have taken. A little bit about me. I mean, my family is originally from North Carolina. Lived there, loved there, love it, right? But my father, who was probably the single smartest person I've ever known, ever. Now, nothing against any of these smart people out there. He is brilliant, right? Or was brilliant. And I went to University of Kansas for undergraduates. I ran track there, had a great time. And my father came to drive me back home when I was getting ready for medical school at UNC. And my father is 82nd Airborne, jumps out of planes, chews nails. He taught me how to read a map. He uses the sun to locate, and we're driving back in North Carolina, and it's not a straight road, but it's interstate. And this is something he taught me when I was a child. And so I doze off. In the process of dozing off, I wake up and looking, and the signs seem unfamiliar. We're going to North Carolina, but I'm seeing signs for Ohio, for Pennsylvania. Wondering, and it's my dad, so I know, well, maybe this is a new way. So I close my eyes again. When I wake back up, now I'm seeing signs Michigan, and I'm like, hey, and I look over at him, and he looks at me, and there's this look on his face where he doesn't want to ask for help because he's my dad. Yeah, he's lost. And we didn't talk much about it after that. I drove back, and there were periods where we would have conversations, and he would want to tell me that something was different, but he couldn't because he was my dad. Then there's one day, he was driving me back to medical school, and he slowed down, and he says, son, things are changing. I can't balance a checkbook. I don't know where I'm spending money. I don't know what we're spending money on. And I know that, and he told me, and I did let my family know up front because we wanted to work through what that meant. But I'm the youngest, right? Yeah. But I'm the only one that's medical. And so he said, you're going to make sure that they know what's going on. And from that point, I had to be the liaison to explain what dementia was and what things would happen. And over that time course, I think we did the best we could. But even to your point, even as a medical professional, I don't know what I don't know. Yes. And so there were periods where I knew my family really wanted more information, but I didn't know what to give. Yeah. Now I'm doing this while balancing family, medical school, and these other things, which again, they take second fiddle to this, but it was tough. So understanding that difficulty and balancing your professional life, your family life, your personal life, while still making sure that you stay up on all the strategies needed for caregiving. How do you do it? Did you do it? Or what were some of those challenges?
Well, Dr. Best, like I said earlier, that I'm new in this. So previously, before I become the caregiver, I was traveling. I consider myself a career builder. Okay, I manage entertainers and stuff. So I stayed on the road. Okay, my folks always provided for me to do whatever I wanted to do. So I stayed moving, played ball, and I was always moving and active. Mm-hmm. So now that what I was at this point where I think I go in stages, because first of all, I had to slow down. Mm-hmm. And sit down and just stop all the moving and going and just wanting to go. Just all the things I had actively going, and just slow down. I mean, almost to a standstill, as far as my professional life. But as far as my balancing that personal and my professional life, it was hard because, I'm pretty much at a standstill as far as I was active, move, even going. So, and then knowing that, hey, it's not about you. So now, by me, so I'm at this point now that, okay, I'm down, I'm sitting, I'm stable, this is it, and this is what I got to do. I'm already convinced. So now I'm just trying to get my mind ready for the future. Mm-hmm.
I like that. Yeah. And the way that you conceptualized it was wonderful, right? In the sense where you said the first thing that I had to do, taking on this new responsibility, was stop. I had to stop and, number one, identify where I was, because how do you know where you want to go? Whether it's, do I do this? Do I do that? Until you stop and see where you are. The first thing. The second thing you did, you said, I need to now look at reach, right? So you restructured once you stopped, saw where you were, you said, let me restructure things and see where I am. And so now that third phase, now I'm stable. I'm at a stable place, understanding that stability is only relative to where we are right now. And so as things progress, and you said it, once I learned the type of dementia, once I learn these things, that stability is going to shift. But now that you've stopped and you've got structure, well, now you can get stable in that space. Speaking of that, you said, I'm new to this. So was I. So am I, right? So knowing what resources are available is a challenge
Yes,
because there are resources out there.
Yes, sir.
Sir, could you talk about, you talked about our community being traditionally under-resourced, but in this space, do you have any data or information regarding, resource under-allocation for elder care in our community or just in general?
Well, the Alzheimer's Association provides a host of resources, and they have subset resources that are linked into them. And of course, there's a lot of private agencies, there's a lot of private training structures that can come in and give you not only information, make you smart about the disease and the condition itself. Both of your stories are typical examples of discovery. And of course, like most diseases or conditions, there are initial awakening of just coming into the realization that something is wrong, and the success of that is often based on our ability to get as much information about the condition as possible. Your initial in reflection, let me compliment you on, first of all, taking on the chore. Okay, not everyone is capable of taking on that chore. And so as we discuss this topic, I think we have to look at the phaseology of it. There are phases on the side of the loved one and developmental things occurring for the caregiver. And so you can't treat one without the other. You recognizing that your life literally had to come to a standstill is typical of most caregivers. There's over 12 million people caring for people with Alzheimer's, and not everyone is capable. And there are many people who have all had Alzheimer's dementia, and the family has not recognized that. From a cultural standpoint, we often we don't want to see certain things happen, so we deny the reality of what we're seeing. Okay, so recognition, coming to grips with reality, but most important, determining if you're capable of providing that care. And you're a good son. You're a good son, and from a cross-cultural standpoint, we feel not only a sense of commit, okay, but an obligation. And for those of us who are not able or having problems with providing that care, we start developing a sense of guilt. So we have a lot of psychological issues that we have to deal with for the caregiver. There's some progressive things that are going to occur with the disease, whether you like it or not. Okay, the average amount of time is about 8 years, 8 to 10 years that someone with full-blown Alzheimer's before, they pass on. With dementia, it's sort of a different story. People have lived with dementia for 20, 30 years.
Right.
Okay. And so being able to differentiate, looking at Alzheimer's as a brain deterioration concept and looking at dementia, there's a number of things that we call dementia, and doesn't mean that you have Alzheimer's. Okay, just the aging process, having more boxes to store information and taking you longer to find those boxes to get.
I like that.
So there's going to be some memory loss, a head injury, and of course I believe your profession is a cardiologist.
Yes, sir.
And so the link between the medical and physical. Well, there, disease-causing kinds of things too, medication. We're discovering things about different medications that may have more of a causation than we realize. So we're in the discovery stage right now. But in everyone's life, eventually, there are going to be some disruptors. Things are not going to look quite what's going on here. And you were very fortunate that Dad was able to tell your son things are not, as right. And of course, with you having the medical degrees, sometimes the youngest ends up being the oldest in conflict, but you had to mediate that.
Right.
In your case, Brother Vance, you are the surviving son. You're the soft. And so those decisions, and with the African American community, we, not only feel an obligation, but often we criticize those who don't take care of. Okay, and we have to recognize that sometimes our cultural connection can also be inhibiting. factor as well. We have to recognize that not all of us are capable and able to. And by the time we realize that, we need some personal care ourselves, okay? And so we should not feel ashamed or embarrassed that we feel that we're not capable of handling that. But for us as a group, we tend to, we're like old soldiers. We're like old bulldogs. I'm going to hang in here as long as I can. As our personal health begins to deteriorate. And so there's some wake-up realities concerning this topic that I think as we move forward toward providing that quality care, we have to recognize that it takes two. You have the person you're caring for and you. And sometimes you need a team, or you're not capable because of medical challenges that you might have. Okay. So that would be my response. But you guys covered a lot. But you did mention the awareness stage, how you learned that something is wrong. Okay. In your case, Dad told you, you just seen something. In your case, I'm sure on a day-to-day basis, some things just not going right.
Yeah, just the progression of his health, yes.
So that would be my comment, in not summation, but you can see how broad the topic is, how many working parts that we have here. But getting educated and recognizing what you're able to do and what you're not capable of doing, and then seeking the resources. You may have to go to an expert. You may have to go to someone that has had experience. And please, your entry into this stage, you bring a lot. You bring a lot. Because you bring your experience. You share what you don't know, which tells folk what needs to be done. So you're an important element. You don't have to come in with a whole bunch of knowledge. Your love for your parents is essential to quality care, and your willingness to hang in there and stay. And of course, you acted as not only the educator, but the mediator. You had responsibility to inform the entire family. So all of our roles are essential and important, but we have to continue educating ourselves and learning the skill sets. So acknowledging what you're capable of doing and what you're not capable of doing, seeking out those resources. Sometimes we don't want to ask for help. Okay, if we can do this ourselves, well, guess what? We can. Okay. And so that would be one of my responses to what I heard you two gentlemen share and point out this, sir.
No, I mean, I think that was timely, sage advice. There's so many points to pull from that. And you said it really when you said there's so many resources. There's such complexity towards just dementia, but we didn't speak about, advanced heart disease, advanced kidney disease, post-stroke. And I think through your love, and the leadership of, TAAN TV, we have this program. And this program isn't just a moment in time, right? We really want to create a movement towards helping people understand, build relationships that are both real and personal with not only their family members, but care providers and care teams.
Absolutely.
So I would love to, I want to keep talking, but I know we're up against the clock. But if you could let us know, and I'm going to have each of you kind of give us some closing remarks to kind of build into what is going to be, at least a 10, 12-part series where we, look at each of these different parts. If you could talk about kind of what TAAN TV plans to do moving forward with this Caregiver series, and then the role that you're going to play.
Okay, well, Dr. Batts, I'm hoping, that the TAAN TV and get this word out, just taking what I'm saying, like I said, maybe in such layman terms, but then, you bringing that medical side, and we need that. It's just really being an education, because I sit and watch my folks take care of my grandma, and for 8 years, every day. When I say I watched them, but I didn't know what really was going on. I know they was there every day, and I got the feedback, and I would go visit. But because like I said, I was out, I was gone. But that day-to-day interaction and what you have to do is just something I didn't know about until now. To now, and to really think about what they went through. I mean, it wasn't a day-to-day did not go check on my mama.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking at, now these my folks. So now I got to say, I'm thinking, Hank, every day for forever, how long, As far as TAAN, I want to bring out the action that there is a need to help the caregivers, you know what I'm saying, and reach out and what we can do. And TAAN TV can get this word out, and you guys have a wealth of knowledge and experience, and then hopefully others to come in. So, and we can get more people, and then, it just maybe, like I said, it could become a movement, and then we can build that. But if TAAN could add to that, experience and knowledge and bring out the wealth of information, I'm down for it. I was down for it, Doc. Yes, sir.
Well, I think that your love, your position on taking care of your parents is a replica of just thousands of people just here in this city alone. And what we do plan to do through Chance TV is to not only educate, but we want to spread this program. We recognize the immensity of it. And so we're talking about over a 12-week period, about I believe it's going to be 4 shows. And we're going to focus on the educational aspects, the interactive aspect with people who are actually involved in the caretaking end of it. We're going to look at the psychological impact on both the caregiver and the loved one. So we'll break this complex topic down over this 12-week period, and we plan to show some visuals, perhaps show some people interacting with people who have this conditional challenge, get more one-on-one interviews with people who on a day-to-day basis, the challenges that they are meeting, and then enter in some of those resources that you're talking about. We'll talk about some of the skills that are essential, interpreting, interacting with the loved ones, some of the things that we think is okay, realizing that they are giant mistakes to make because we continue to try and define their existence through our own eyes. And so we recognize that learning about the condition, educating you about the condition, giving you some alternative skills and things to practice at home, but most important, to be able to reflect on your own personal health as you also provide the care and love for your loved ones, for our dads, our moms, our aunts. Because we're talking a reciprocity here. We're talking about both. You can't help them if you're not fit to help them. And they should not have to suffer from our either cultural stubbornness in doing it ourselves when we may often be doing more harm than good. And so TAAN's TV hopes to provide you some essential tools along with that knowledge to ensure that the remaining time that they have here on earth is as profitable as possible for them, that they'll get the max out of the remaining period of and you will be able to walk with them through this daunting period, recognizing they're not going to be around forever, but knowing that you contributed and you did the best that you can. And so that's what TAAN TV plans to do, and we're going to do it. And so we invite the entire community to tune in for new shows, new perspectives. And San Antonio is known for leading the way, and TAAN TV is going to take that ride and lead the way. So again, like I said, I'm delighted to be here. It's a topic that we all need to know about. It's growing. It's a national impacting topic. It's not going to go away. And in the the term of sticking it out, we're going to stick it out.
We're going to stick it out. Well, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure and an honor to be with you both. Again, as I mentioned, this is Dr. Vance with the About That Life podcast, the podcast about life in collaboration with TAAN TV as we tackle care for the caregiver. As you heard from my guest today, we sometimes have to stop, get structured, and get stable. What we're doing at TAAN TV is really focusing on forcing us to stop, thinking about the problem, and building out our status and structure moving forward. We want to give you the 3 E's. We talked about it. We want to educate, we want to empower, but we want to do it with empathy. So as you tune in to our next episodes, understand that we are doing this for you. So what you can do for us is to reach out to TAAN TV, either by email, you see that here on the phone, or give us a call so we can get your needs and what you want us to produce for you done. And remember, we want you to live intentionally forever. Thank you.
And I got troubles and sorrows, but I wait till tomorrow. This is my day.